We're here at the Stillwater Library. The date is July 10th. Unfortunately, the weather is promising some heavy thunderstorms for the general area of Saratoga County. So instead of having the summer concert out there between the library and the Blockhouse Park, is going to be held inside today. A lot of other communities have just canceled theirs, but thanks to the nice facility of our brand new library here in Stillwater, they have a community room, and that's where the entertainment will be tonight. So I hear some happy sounds coming from that area. So this is the meeting room, a community room, and this is where they'll be performing shortly.
We already know each other.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Stillwater Summer Concert Series for our third installment of the 2024 season. Tonight, we have the pleasure of hosting a well-known pair, Al and Kathy BAIN. Al and Kathy BAIN are known for their duo-style traditional country music, newly branded as retro, along with bluegrass and gospel. They have been performing together for over 20 years.
Wait. We're not that old. Make it 50.
50 years. That's some congratulations. Woohoo!
I didn't get my parents' permission.
The BAIN's roots are in the Northeast, this is cool, but they have performed extensively throughout the South and as far as Las Vegas. The BAINs have received many awards from the Northeast CMA in Albany, New York for male and female vocalist, pioneer, song of the year, songwriter, and the entertainer of the year. So cool. You're a rock star. They have individually been named members of the New York State Country Hall of Fame at Portland, New York. Please sit back, relax, and give a warm welcome to Al and Kathy BAIN.
You can tell that Kathy wrote that. And by the way, just to clear things up, it's Kathy with a K.
That's okay.
Okay.
Oh, I should have said it, I'm sorry.
The other woman that works with him is with a C.
I have a K.
Yeah, you're grooming a younger blonde bass player.
Problem is she's 12 and she
So
has
it's
a
gonna
lot
be a
of
while.
grooming to do.
What reputation?
This
Thanks for coming.
Yes, thank you for coming. I was afraid nobody was going to show up because of the weather forecast and the heat and humidity, and I was afraid we were going to be outside. I thought I was afraid. This first song is one that was written by Johnny Russell, and we worked with Living Jamboree for about 30 years, and we did work the Jamboree with him one year, and I knew the song because it was a big hit for Buck Owens back in the early 60s. And then later on, there was these guys from England that came over.
This makes us retro.
They're gonna put me in the movie. They're gonna make a big star out of me. We'll make a film about a man that's sad and lonely. And all they gotta do is act naturally. Well, I'll bet you I'm gonna be a big star. I might win an Oscar, you can't never tell. The movie's gonna make me a big star. I can play the part so well. Well, I hope you come and see me in the movie. Then I know that you will plainly see biggest fool that's ever hit the big time. And all I gotta do is act naturally. We'll make a scene about a man that's sad and lonely, begging down upon his bending knee. I'll play the part, but I won't be rehearsing, 'cause all I gotta do is act naturally. Well, I'll bet you I'm gonna be a big star, like win an Oscar, you can never tell. The movie's gonna make me a big star, 'cause I can play the part so well. Well, I hope you come and see me in the movie, then I know you will plainly see the biggest fool that's ever hit the big time. And all I gotta do is act naturally. And all I gotta do is act naturally.
Oh, you're a hit out.
I tried to cover that.
We've been very fortunate, and every time we go out and get a chance to sing again or do some more work, we are always grateful that God has given us help. We're missing a lot of people in our lives now. Getting kind of hard to go from funeral home to nursing home, but we're not in any of those.
That's right. We always check 2 into the nursing home and 2 back out again. This is a lovely Brazil tune back from 1959, if I don't remember back that far. Before my time. 10 years ago, on a cold, dark night, someone was killed beneath the town hall light. There were few at the scene, but they all agreed that the slayer had looked a lot like me. The judge said, "Son, what is your alibi? If you were somewhere else, then you don't have to die." I spoke not a word, although it meant my life right back in the arms of my best friend's wife. She walks these hills in a long black veil. She visits my grave when the night winds wail. Nobody knows, nobody sees, nobody knows but me. You're older than I thought. The scaffold high, eternity near. She stood in the crowd and shed not a tear. But sometime tonight, when the cold wind moans in a long black veil, she cries on my bones. She walks these hills in a long black veil. She visits my grave when the night winds wail. Nobody knows, nobody sees, nobody knows but me. Nobody knows but me. I like playing in small rooms like this. The applause really echoes around and makes sounds great.
Did you all look up and enjoy the heavens? You probably owe air conditioning to all of that, right? I'm grateful. I love it because, well, that's another time in my life before now. But when I used to go to New York, down to New York to visit people, you know, all the apartments, they'd have stuff like this and it would all be painted black over your heads. Did you ever think of doing that?
whenever you're done talking, sure, go ahead.
We've been performing for 50 some odd years, and I have to say this every time. Not too fast. He's always getting over my songs.
Well, I try to get through them in a hurry.
That's right. The other thing, we belong to two halls of fame now.
Really?
We're in New York State Country Music Hall of Fame,
Oh, yeah.
and we're in the Kentucky Thumbpickers,
Oh, the National Fun Pickers.
National Thumbpickers Hall of Fame.
Well, they felt sorry for us because actually we get on to Muhlenberg County, Kentucky every year. We tried to win. They accepted us down, even though we're Yankees. They let us come down, and they all play circles around me. But the thing is that most of them don't sing worth a damn, so we kind of fake our way through it. The big joke used to be, if you remember the old Pace Picante sauce ads on television, where the cowboys are sitting around the campfire, and one of the guys turns out to be from New York, and they all say, New York City! That's what they would do that to us every time. This is not from New York City.
Yeah, they think we live with giant buildings. In West Hebron, we have a couple of barns.
Yeah, we have a young deer that comes right up by our kitchen
Oh, we
window,
do?
eating the weeds that I haven't cut yet. Of course, that last song was a Patsy Cline tune, and she was killed in 1963 in a plane crash. And one of the ones who was also killed in that crash was Hawkshaw Hawkins. This is one of his biggest tunes. And I'm not, did I? Was it B? No, it's not B. That's E. Come on.
That's an E?
That's
We're just learning songs. We're just starting out.
well. And our number changed today, although I hated to. Just in case your love for me has ever come around, you might want to call and break the news to me. I'm at lonesome 77203. It's not in the book now, so you better write it down. Just in case your love for me should ever come around. If you ever long for love that used to be, I'm at lonesome 77203. I keep the telephone beside me all the time, just in case all the good stuff.
Our son is here. Say hi to Tom.
Hello! I told him downstairs I was here to see the tall guy and the blonde lady.
The tall guy with the blonde floozy, is that what you said?
I didn't say that. You won't.
Have a seat, Tom. Okay, so she keeps saying she needs some blueberries.
Okay, we can do that. Sort of.
Blueberries?
Yeah, we'll do a grassy tune.
Which one?
I don't know. What's going on?
We got kind of organized today, which is always a mistake for us. Because as
That's
soon-
right, because she put the wrong key on for that last song.
So as soon as we get organized, everything falls apart. Right?
Yep. This is kind of a bluegrassy tune. Doc Watson laid this very famous. This is written by Jimmy Driftwood, actually. I believe. We met him briefly. Yeah, we'll see. Just give me the thumbs up if it's okay. If it's not, don't say a word. On about 1825, left Tennessee very much alive. Never would have made it through the Arkansas mud if I hadn't been riding on the Tennessee Star. I had some trouble with my sweetheart's paw. One of her brothers was a bad outlaw. I sent her married out on the flood and I rode away on the Tennessee Star. Tennessee Star, the long lean, the color of the sun in his eyes are green. He had the nerve and he had the blood and there was a horse like a Tennessee Star. Disturbing side by side across the mountains and the valleys wide. Came big money for the flood on the Tennessee mare and the Tennessee Star. Pretty little baby on the cabin floor, little horse pulled me round the door, don't care. I love that gal with golden hair and the Tennessee stud of the Tennessee mare. Tennessee stud with long lean, color of the sun in his eyes are green. He had the nerve and he had the blood and there was a horse like a Tennessee stud. Drifted on down to no man's land, across the river called the Rio Grande. Raced the horse against Spanish foal till I got a skip for silver and gold. Me and the gang, we couldn't agree, got in a fight in Tennessee. Jerked our guns and he fell in the flood and I got away on the Tennessee Stud. Tennessee Stud with long lean, the color of the sun in his eyes are green. He had the nerve and he had blood and there never was a horse like Tennessee Stud. I must have this. I'm sorry.
Would any of you have known if you hadn't said it? Oh, other than
She's smiling, so I guess we're okay.
yeah, we're okay. One of the girls here mentioned my mother's name. She said she used to come and sit with mother and listen to it. And my mom's been gone 8 years now. And I've just been cleaning up all of her houses, all of her buildings. She was what they call a businesswoman.
A hoarder.
She had, well, never mind, we shouldn't get into that. I'll just get depressed. So can I
Let me do this one first. This is one that, I don't know if you remember, around 1973, Willie Nelson decided to leave Nashville. He was tired of the bureaucracy. He was going to go out on his own, become an outlaw. So the album that he put out then was called Red-Headed Stranger. And I don't know why, because he's not right here. Is it, was
Yes,
it?
his beard is red.
Oh, is it beard?
Was.
Oh, anyway,
It's silver.
I had learned this from an old Eddie Arnold recording a long time before that. But I always liked this song. Kind of neat tune. Plus, it's a song about justifiable homicide on a blonde. A red-headed stranger from Little Rock, Montana, rode into town one day. Beneath his knees was a raging black stallion, looking behind was a bay. The red-headed stranger had eyes like the thunder, his lips were sad and tight. His little lost love was asleep on the hillside, his heart was heavy as night. Don't cross him, don't boss him, he's wild in his sorrow, he's riding, he's hiding his pain. Don't fight him, don't spite him, but wait till tomorrow, and baby, you'll ride on again. A yellow-haired woman leaned out of the window, looked at the stranger there. She drew back in fear at the sight of the stallion, cast greedy eyes on the mare. For she didn't know that the dancing bay pony meant more to him than life. For it was the horse that his little lost darling had ridden when she was his wife. Don't cross him, don't boss him, he's wild, he's suffering, he's riding, he's hiding his pain. Don't fight him, don't spite him, but wait till tomorrow, and maybe you'll ride on again. The yellow-haired woman ran down to the tavern, looked up the stranger there. He bought her a drink, and he gave her some money, he just didn't seem to care. The yellow-haired woman ran out of the tavern, laughed as she grabbed at the bay. He shot her so quick, they had no time to warn her, she hadn't heard anyone say. Don't cross him, don't boss him, he's wild, he's sorrow, he's riding, he's hiding his pain. Don't fight him, don't spite him, but wait till tomorrow, and baby, you'll ride on again. This is the moral of the story. The yellow-haired woman was buried at sunup. The stranger went free, of course. You can't hang a man for shooting a woman who's trying to steal your horse. This is the tale of the red-headed stranger. If he should pass your way, get out of the way of the raging black stallion. Don't lay a hand on the bay.
Will he still be 1 year old?
No, we will not.
He's gonna have a birthday tomorrow, he's gonna be 2. Remember those days?
No, you can't put that good.
When, sometimes you learn a song and it stays with you, and you like to sing it, and other people don't care about it. But if you sing it long enough, you'll find someone who will know the words because they've been following you around for years.
Don't look at me.
He's supposed to know the words.
Okay, baby.
Hey,
Yes,
you got your keys, right?
yes, we get mine right.
Is that too fast, too slow?
Kids are out of the room, I can say that. My baby's coming home again today. My baby's coming home again today. He caught that train and headed on his way. My baby's coming home again today. It's been years since he told me goodbye. It's been years since he told me goodbye. 300 nights and all I've done is cry. My baby's coming home again today. We had some kind of bad misunderstanding.
today. My baby's coming home again today.
He caught that train and headed on his way.
My baby's coming home again today.
Now say, take it, Chet. We had some kind of bad misunderstanding, and I thought that we would never speak again. Oh, I realized we both were too demanding. He wrote me now, waiting for a train to sing. My baby's coming home again today. My baby's coming home again today. He caught that train and headed on his way.
My baby's coming home again today. My baby's coming home again today.
Okay, so we were doing a festival recently and on the ladies' room wall, Tom. On the ladies' room wall, it said, "My husband follows me everywhere." Down underneath it said, "I do not."
Back, it has to be 1973 because this song was, I think, Song of the Year that year. We were down in Nashville, I think it was a DJ convention, and we heard that there was a show up at the War Memorial, and it was Waylon Jennings and Willie Nelson and all these guys, and I thought, that should be a great show. So we went up there. Here's the announcer from the radio station who was sponsoring it, and he had his leather cowboy hat and his jeans, ripped jeans and all this stuff, looked like a slob. He's up there joking around, smoking pot and all this stuff. And then Willie and Waylon and all those guys came out, and they were turning their backs to the audience and all this stuff you shouldn't do. But they were outlaws, so they could do that. But then Sammy Smith was also on the show. She came out and she had Chris Christopherson Help Me Make It Through the Night. That was popular at the time. She did that, a great job on that. Johnny Paycheck hadn't become an outlaw yet. He and his band were all in matching yellow suits, and they did a super job. But
He's not telling you the rest of the story. The rest of the story is that he would sing this song, and when we went to Bennington over at the Eagles, one of those places.
You're telling
Blues
us.
Club.
Go ahead.
We went, so we're over there, and we're singing, and there are some people who are fans of ours, these couples that have always come and heard us, and come to dance. And so he sings this song, and Millie, with her short red hair, she's an ER nurse at the hospital in Bennington. She is so cute, wasn't she, Ann?
I don't remember.
And you know what she said? Al, could you please do that song for me? And did you ever forget that there was no song? Not for a minute. Not for a minute there.
That's the name of the song for a minute there. You brushed by me, and oh, you came so near that I could smell the perfume in your hair. An old memory took me back in time, and my heart stood still for a minute there. For a minute there, I forgot where I was, remembering only when you used to care. And as you walked by me, you almost brushed my arm. I nearly called your name next to nothing for a lifetime in your arms. But I give all I own, just 1 minute there. Yes, I give all I own, just 1 minute there. Oh, I don't know. I admit.
We had a plan, but what'd you do with those kids? You throw them away? Oh. There they are. Okay. All right.
Yeah, I know what you all been waiting for.
This is an interesting library because I don't know if you noticed when you came out of the elevator, if you looked out to your right, you looked out on the parking lot, and it looks like you could just walk right out of the building at that point. Okay. So this would be a banjo for those of you who don't know what it is.
I listened to Bluegrass Junction on Sirius XM. I like the fact that they say this is where banjo players are respected.
Yay!
I don't get that at home.
How often do you play the banjo at Bluegrass Festival?
I very seldom play in front of banjo players. Although we were up at Jenny Brook this past week, and Dennis, I don't know his last name, I don't remember now. He used to play banjo with Dave Nichols in his group. He was up there taking photos. So when we played, when was the last time we played the Thousand Islands Festival? He was sitting there in the room when we were playing, and I did the banjo, and still have it in my case, and I showed it to him. Banjo score of 9.8. I thought that was pretty good.
I said, thank heavens you're just taking pictures, you're not playing banjo. So, Tom, did you know that Dave Nichols isn't feeling well again? Yeah. Is it perfection? Oh, I bet you'll be able to hear this in the last row.
Maybe even downstairs.
Maybe downstairs. Oh,
So close.
we're not going to shoot it on you.
No. Crying already? Oh, he's always looking at me. Okay, what are we doing now? We have, entertainers now have their tablet here in front of them like this. This is my tablet.
That's on the spot?
Sure.
Okay.
I'm gonna try that again. Try to stay with me this time.
I'm waiting to see if he slows down.
My grandfather's clock was too large for the shelf, so it stood many years on the floor. It was taller by half than the old man himself, though it weighed not a penny, weighed more. It was bought on the morn of the day that he was born. It was always a treasure and pride, but it stopped short, never to go again when the old man died. 90 years without slumber, his life's seconds numbered. But it stopped short, never to go again when the old man died. My grandfather said that of those he could hire, not a servant more faithful he found. For he wasted no time and had but one desire, at the close of each week to be wound. And it kept in its place, not a frown upon his face, and his hands never hung by his side. But it stopped short, never to go again when the old I'll say thank you for your sympathy on that one.
Where are we now, Em?
Just following.
I'm not against being organized.
I'm making plans to put together a group we call the Four Musicians of the Apocalypse. Banjo, bagpipes, accordion, and bongos. We're going to offend everybody.
We're still in the same key now. Same speed.
Say speed?
I'm about to tell you what you see. Bear tracks, looking back at me. Better get your rifle, cause the force too late. Cause the bear's got a little thing headed through the gate. He's been right in the middle and he's brought across the front, running 9 miles an hour, taking 30. Ain't never been cornered, he's never been street. Some folks say he's a lot like me. With me? Weather's coming on and it's 20 below. The river's froze over, so where can you go? We'll run up the gully and chase him in the well and shoot him in the bottom just to listen to him yell.
Right, Tom?
He's big around the middle and he's far across the front, running 9 miles an hour, taking 30 to go. Ain't never been cornered and he's never been straight. Some folks say he's a lot like me. Some folks say he's a lot like me. On the second set, I'll do the verses I left out. That I forgot.
What is our birthday person's name?
Logan. Logan.
Logan? L-O. You say L-O-G?
Yeah, Logan.
Logan. It's quite an echo by the time we're done today. That's our excuse today. You know, I had to go get my hearing checked a few years ago because somebody in our house insisted I was getting hard of hearing.
Never heard a thing I said.
So I did. I went to the doctor's in Glens Falls, and sitting there with the girl who was going to test me, and I had filled out the paperwork, and she looked down and she said, "What does this say for your reason? Why are you here today?" I said, "Because my husband said so." I wrote it down. I didn't want to be blamed for taking the test when I didn't need it. It's getting closer.
You mentioned we get down to Kentucky once a year, all the thumb pickers, try to get together with them. We have some great friends down there, some great players. And the whole reason for the whole thing down there is Merle Travis came from that area down in Middleburg County. And there were a couple of black guitar players who kind of started things off, and then Merle and Mose Rager and several others kind of put the thing together. Merle was not the greatest guitar player in the world, but he was the reason that so many others went on and became great players. Chet Atkins learned from him, Jerry Reed, people like that. And me.
And Al.
And
Al.
When I was growing up, I had one of those fancy hi-fis. You know, you crank it, wind it up, and you'd open the doors if you wanted it louder. So I had a 78 Tennessee Ernie Ford doing the song, and I had no idea what it was all about. But Merle Travis had written the song. He had recorded it, never did much for him, but when Tennessee Ernie did it, it became a big hit. man is made out of mud. A poor man's made out of muscle and blood. Muscle and blood and skin and bones. A mind that's weak and the back that's strong. You vote 16 times. What do you get? Another day older and deeper in debt. St. Peter, don't you call me, 'cause I can't go. I know my soul to the company store. Sun did shine. I picked up a shovel and I walked to the mine. I rode 16 times. The number 9 cold in the straw post said, blessing my soul, you rode 16 times. What do you get? Another day older and deeper in that. St. Peter, don't you call me, 'cause I can't go. I don't buy soul to the company store. Rain, fighting in trouble and finding pain. I was raising a king. My old mama line came to a high one. Make me walk the line 16 times. What do you get? Another day older and deeper in debt. St. Peter, don't you call me, 'cause I can't go. I know my soul to the company store. If you see me coming, better step aside. A lot of men do, a lot of men die. One fist of iron, the other of steel. If the right one don't get you, then the left one wins. Out 16 times. What do you get? Another day older and deeper in debt. St. Peter, don't you call me, 'cause I can't go. Begin now. I owe my soul to the company store. One more Merle Travis type thing. He wrote a lot of great songs, and not many of them were recorded by other people. As a matter of fact, in 1947, Tex Williams was going into Capitol Records for another recording session, and he needed another song. So the story goes that Merle whipped this one off for him in about 20 minutes. Of course, that's just a story, who knows. But we were up in Mountain View, Arkansas, and of course, a lot of Travis's family was there for this gathering. And I wasn't sure what I was going to do on Saturday night for the show, because with the family there, you don't want to do their songs. Anyway, I was, I stumped. What was I going to do? And then Kathy ran into somebody.
No, she asked you.
Oh, was it me?
Merle's daughter, Pat,
Pat Everly.
she happened to have been Miss Kentucky in her day, so she was a pretty good-looking woman.
Not too ugly,
So she stopped Al and said, Al, do you know smoke? He said, no, I don't, but I'll learn it.
I learned it that afternoon.
Yeah. Oh, she was so appreciative.
You don't know how appreciative.
This time turned out to be the first million seller for Capitol Records back in 1947. Now, I'm a fellow with a heart of gold and the ways of a gentleman, I've been told, the kind of guy who wouldn't even hurt a flea. But being a certain character meant the guy that invented that cigarette, well, I'd murder that son of a gun in the first degree. Now, it ain't because I don't smoke myself, and I don't reckon it'll harm me hell. I've smoked them all my life and I ain't dead yet. But nicotine slaves are all the same at a pepper party or a poker game. Everything stops while they have a cigarette. Smoke that cigarette. Pop, if you smoke this out of bed. Tell St. Peter to go hates to make you wait. You've got to have another cigarette. In a game of chance the other night, old Wheel of Fortune was doing me right. The kings and queens just kept on coming around. I played him hard and bet him high, but my luck didn't work on a certain guy. He kept raising the bet and laying his money down. He raised me and I raised him. I sweated blood, you gotta sink or swim. Finally he just called and didn't raise a bet. Said, ace of full, pal, how about you? He said, I'll let you know in just a minute or two, but right now I've just got to have a cigarette. Smoke, smoke, smoke that cigarette. Puff, 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 if you smoke yourself down. Tell St. Peter at the Golden Gate that you hates to make you wait. You've got to have another cigarette. The other night I had a date with the cutest little gal in the 48 states, a hybrid, fancy, uptown sort of dame. She said she loved me, and it seemed to me that things were about the way they ought to be. So hand in hand we strolled down Lover's Lane. She was oh so far from a chunk of ice, and our smooching party was going no ice. So help me, Hannah, I think I'd have been there yet. But I give her a kiss and a little squeeze. She said, "Al, just a minute, please." But first, I just got to have a king-size hotel, mentholated, low-tar cigarette. Smoke, smoke, smoke that cigarette. Puff, 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 and if you smoke yourself dead. Tell St. Peter at the Golden Gate that you hates to make you wait. You've got to have another cigarette.
My mother, Lula May, was quite a character. Not like I am, but quite a character. And so when we were down in Nashville at, that must have been Fanfare, we had a booth down there, and everyone would go to all these events. So we were at a special building, and we're standing around waiting for stars to go by, and we're talking to everybody. So in comes Eddie Arnold. He's walking through, and my mother's going, I thought she was going to have a palpitation right there. Eddie Arnold. So he's standing and he's looking around. There had been snacks and he had stuff in his hands left over from his stash. And he said, he's looking around and she said, "Mr. Arnold, you want me to take that?" He said, "Oh, that would be so great. Thank you, thank you." She takes it, puts it in her purse, took it home. It was in her bedroom after she died. I thought, and you know, he had that beautiful voice at Sunday night craft music hall. No, that was Saturday night craft music hall. He did all those shows. He was just so smooth. And what I found out about him was for his 50th anniversary with his wife, he told her he had another son she didn't know about who was 51.
There's a lot of that going on.
I thought, you know, of all the things he could have given me for my 50th, that wouldn't have been it.
This is one that he recorded and did a great job on. It was written by Cindy Walker, who wrote songs for Bob Wills and people like that. And before we were married, I was in Nashville. I was actually working at a Ford garage, not making much money, but I had a place to live. And the guy that was kind of showing me around down there, he was a promoter, took me one time to see Cindy Walker. And she had an apartment, and she was taking care of her mother. And I had no idea who she was. If I had known, I would have bowed down, because she was such a great writer. But that one thing led to another. I was talking to Kathy on the phone one day, and I said, she said something about coming down, and I said, "Why don't you come on down for a while? I figured we'd shack up for a while." And what happened? Well, she brought her father and her sister, and that didn't work so well.
We got married.
We got married there.
This is one of my favorites.
You give your hand to me, and then you say hello, and I can hardly speak, my heart is beating so, and anyone can tell, you think you know me well, but you don't know me. No, you don't know the one who dreams of you at night, and longs to kiss your lips, and longs to hold you tight. To you I'm just a friend, that's all I've ever been. No, you don't know me. For I never knew the art of making love, though my heart ached with love for you. Afraid and shy, I let my chance go by, the chance you might have loved me too. You give your hand to me, and then you say goodbye. I watch you walk away beside that lucky guy, till you never, never know one who loves you so. No, you don't know me. For I never knew the art of making love, though my heart ached with love for you. Afraid and shy, I let my chance go by, the chance you might have loved me too. You give your hand to me, and then you say goodbye. I watch you walk away beside that lucky guy, till you never, never know one who loved you so. No, you don't know me. Let me ask one of the boss people.
I'm boss.
We've been running over here. We done
Do we
past our
have to
40.
do 245?
If you want to play straight through, that's fine.
Well, I'm afraid if I
Are you
try to
guys
move now.
going anywhere? I mean,
Or if you want to take a break, that's up.
does anyone here need to go outside and smoke a cigarette? Anyone need to go to the ladies' room? You're what? You want to go to the men's room? You're excused. We'll notice if you don't come back.
I think if it's okay with you guys, I think we'll just go right straight through. There's nothing special.
Yeah, it's kind of the vibe, so.
If I move now, I'll probably fall over. Okay, that's in the key of F. Is that right? You want to give me a speed on it so you don't complain about it?
We're not supposed to argue in front of you, are we? Because he can turn his back. George Morgan was quite the singer in the 50s and 60s. He really had very successful music and a great voice. And this is a song of his. And his daughter, Lori Morgan, was in the 80s. Not yet. So this is her father's song. Candy kisses wrapped in paper mean more to you than any of mine. Candy kisses wrapped in paper, you'd rather have them any old time. You don't mean it when you whisper those sweet love words in my ear. Candy kisses wrapped in paper mean more to you than mine do. I built a castle out of dreams, dear. I thought that you were building one too. Now stepping outside, there's a huge crash. And they both jump up. And she said, "My husband's here, get out, get out." She pushes him towards the window. He runs to the window, he jumps out, he lands in the bush, he lands on the ground. A few minutes later, he comes back in the door. He said, "I am your husband." And then why were you running? We don't dare jump out our windows, it's a little too far. We own a big, old house. I like to think of our house as a
Retro. This is a tune that I think it was maybe the early 80s. Red Lane, I think at that time he was working with Noel Hanger. But he put this out. I think Roger Miller also recorded it too. I thought it was kind of cool. Me and Oliver and Virgil were in the drugstore killing time. My eye fell upon this magazine. I got to reading this article about skydiving parachutes. It said jumping out of airplanes is the thing. Being raised out on the farm and always ready for adventure, I knew that I could figure out a way. Delbert got a dick, Delbert Gill's got a parachute, and Uncle Harvey's got a plane. I said, call the boys together, today's the day. And I found out too late when Uncle Harvey called an airplane. It wasn't nothing but an engine and a wing. I could feel my fear rising as Delbert packed the parachute. He kept telling me I was doing the right thing. Ron McLaughlin shook my hand as J.D. strapped me in harness. Then Tilton brought a jug to pass around. I took one look at that whiskey, that parachute, and that airplane. And I drank that up, turned that bottle up, and drank it down. I was drunker than Cooter Jones when they poured me in the airplane. The engine coughed and headed for the clouds. But I was sober as a judge when Harvey opened up that door. I've never known my heart to beat so loud. I said, Harvey, I can't do it, as he kicked me out the door. So I wrapped my hands around the landing gear. I was holding on real good till Harvey stepped on my fingers. Virgil said he heard me scream from way down there. I thank God with Delbert Gill when that parachute finally opened. I said, hell, I know you used to be afraid. And I went crashing through the hen house, scattering chickens and breaking eggs. And I kissed the ground and fainted dead away. Now, friends, I've fought some battles and shot it once or twice. During me been run over by a train. But I can't remember ever being more afraid than the day I jumped from Uncle Harvey's plane.
Okay, no children here now? Okay, so this woman meets her husband at the door and is coming home from work, and she's in a black necklace. She looks really sharp. She says, hi, sweetheart. Hi. She said, here's what we're going to do. You're going to take me down to the bedroom. I've got all kinds of stuff there. You can do whatever you want with me. I said, okay. So he took her to the bedroom and put her out flat. He tied her arms and her legs to the bed, and he went golfing. Jeannie Seeley is, she's been around a long time. She may be even older than you now. Not sure. But she's on her like a bazillion times on the Opry. She has a Sunday program on
Yeah, I think she's one of the oldest, or the longest performing on the Opry.
Yeah, and she doesn't look it. She's really, well, we used to call that well preserved, but I think she's just a natural good looker. You think so, Al? You ever pay attention?
No.
So this was, I believe, her first song.
She's
F.
F again? Oh,
You know,
nobody plays F.
when people think of the letter F, today it's a different thing up there. And so when I'm singing in groups where they're playing, I see those old geezers look at me in the circle and go,
You see the capos flying all over.
yeah. And I say, you know, you're supposed to play in the key of the singer. Is it okay if I start?
Go ahead.
Your hand is like a torch each time you touch me. The look in your eye pulls me apart. Don't open the door to heaven if I can't come in. Don't touch me if you don't love me, sweetheart. Your kiss is like a drink when I'm thirsty, and I'm thirsty for you with all my heart. Don't love me, then act as though we never kissed. Don't love me if you don't love me, sweetheart.
Nice job.
Don't give me something that you might take away. To have you, then lose you, wouldn't be smart on my part. Don't open the door to heaven if I can't come through. Don't touch me if you don't love me, sweetheart. If my name were Jeannie Seeley, you'd have gotten that perfectly.
We haven't done that for 40 years.
Yeah, I know.
She expects me to remember all this stuff. We have one guy in the ABL loves Tom T. Hall songs, so we have to do one. This is one of my favorite Tom T. Hall tunes. That old Kentucky moon was shining bright as day. Stars were twinkling in the Milky Way. The pilot said, if you look close, there's Franklin on your right. I flew over our house last night. 30,000 feet below me you were fast asleep. 30,000 feet above I almost stopped to weep. So close and yet so far away, so wrong and yet so right. I flew over our house last night. Just 1 second, I thought I was back in town. The man your friends all say has only brought you down. The airline hostess asked me, sir, are you sure that you're all right? yet so far away, so wrong and yet so right. I flew over our house last night. I flew over our house last night. I promise. Why, do you have another nasty joke to tell?
No, I would never do that to you. I will tell you my favorite is ever, Joel.
Oh,
He doesn't like this one, so.
I don't even get it.
Excuse me a second while I just say this. All right, so, he said, I'm gonna make you the happiest woman in the world. And she said, I'm gonna miss you.
You don't have to laugh at that. Oh, I'm sorry. Back a number of years ago, we were down in Albany, and we were at Nick Barr's house. Nick was one of the early founders of the ABL, and
You might tell them what ABL is.
Adirondack Bluegrass League. Everybody knows that.
Oh, it was so romantic.
You didn't know that? Okay. Anyway, he played a CD for me. It was a Grounder CD, and it was all female bluegrass artists. And it was Rhonda Vincent. I was not aware of her, and now I know she's a good-looking blonde. And she had Jim Mills playing what she called a three-finger guitar with her on this. And he's a great banjo player, a great banjo collector. But this caught my ear, and I said I had to learn this. So we can do this in gospel. It's a kind of gospel. Same as always. Kitty. There are many people who will say they're Christian, and they live like Christians on the Sabbath day. But from Monday morning till the coming Sunday, they'll fight their neighbor all along the way. Oh, you don't love God if you don't love your neighbor, if you gossip about him, if you never have mercy, if he gets into trouble and you don't try to help him. If you don't love your neighbor, then you don't love God. In the Holy Bible, in the book of Matthew, the 18th chapter and the 23rd verse, Jesus plainly tells us that we must have mercy. There's not a special warning in the 35th verse. I'll be all right. Don't love God if you don't love your neighbor, if you gossip about him, if you never have mercy, if he gets into trouble and you don't try to help him, if you don't love your neighbor, then you don't love God.
The more they come, the younger they get.
There's a God Almighty and you got to love him. He wants salvation and a home on high. If you say you love him and you hate your neighbor, you don't have religion, you just told a lie. Oh, you don't love God if you don't love your neighbor, if you gossip about him, you never have mercy, if he gets into trouble and you don't try to help him, you don't love your neighbor, then you don't love God. If you don't love your neighbor, then you don't love God.
We were raised on bar rooms.
Nobody was listening to us anyway.
No, and you're lucky if they didn't fall into you, it was a good night.
We had many close calls with a microphone in the teeth, a microphone in the guitar.
Is that a would-be singer that you got?
Tomorrow is her birthday.
Her name's not Logan.
Her name is Rose.
Rose. Oh, we've got a song for you.
Sure.
Okay. Could we, because Logan, is her name, is this one Curious George? So could we sing Rose and Logan, because he's not here now, he would have been here except he's going to be two tomorrow.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Logan. Happy birthday to you.
Okay, can excuse me, we have to sing it one more time because Dad's a little slow. Come on, get ready.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Cousin Logan. Happy birthday to you.
Okay, we were gonna do a Johnny Cash tune anyway, because 16 years we've done the old Brian Inn on Saturday, during the weekend, during track season. And you have people from all over, and they look at you kind of funny and wonder what you're doing. But if you do a Patsy Cline tune and a Johnny Cash tune, then they're with you, you're okay.
Now, Rose, you have to listen to the story of this song.
It's a sad story. I found him by the railroad track this morning. I could tell that he was nearly dead. I knelt down beside him and I listened, just to hear the words a dying fellow said. He said they let me out of prison out in Frisco. For 10 long years I paid for what I'd done. I was trying to get back to Louisiana, just to see my Rose and get to know my son. Give my love to Rose, please won't you, mister? Take her all my money to buy some pretty clothes. Tell my boy that Daddy's so proud of him. And don't forget, give my love to Rose. Like that? Want to hear it again? Okay, this is right now. Now I forgot the words. Give my love to Rose, please won't you, mister? Take her all my money, tell her buy some pretty clothes. Tell my boy that Daddy's so proud of him. And don't forget, give my love to Rose. I had to have a moment there. Sure, maybe I can remember the words of this one.
Okay, so if we play a song that you know, will you sing? I mean, I'm telling you, if you're a good singer, sing right out. If you're not, hang back.
I hear the train coming, it's rolling right the bend. I ain't seen the sunshine since I don't know when. Well, I'm looking for some pretty time.
that train keeps a rolling on down to San Antonio. When I was just a baby, my mama told me, son, always be a good boy, don't ever play with guns. But I shot a man, you know, just to watch him die.
She's going to law school.
When I heard that whistle blow, I hang my head and cry. Folks eating in a fancy dining car. They're probably drinking coffee and smoking a big cigar. Well, I know I had it coming. I know I can't be free of those people who keep moving away, and that's what tortures me. Well, if they free me from this prison, if that river train was mine, better move it on through fire down the line, far from folks in prison. That's where I want to stay. And I'd let that whistle blow out rumors away.
Which of the lakes was that up in there? Anyway, we were hired to go to one of the camps.
Oh, no, it was
No,
Long Lake.
no, there's an S.
Why did you ask me?
Anyway, we were hired to go play this thing, and the people didn't know who we were or what we did, but somebody told them hire on a cat gang because they can call square dances. And so we thought, oh, this would be cool. So we go up there, and it's a big camp, and a lot of family, and it's one woman having her 30th birthday party. She graduated from some of those colleges like Brown and the other ones downstate. They all met at college. They spoke 13 languages and they were from 11 countries around the world. You know, kind of like a money event. Anyway, she's having a birthday, and we're there to teach square dancing in English. And so we didn't know what to do. We really didn't. We didn't know how to get their attention before we called the square. So what he did was he broke into a Johnny Cash tune, and they started to come to the stage. It was really funny.
They were rushing us. We thought they were going to attack us.
So when I did this next song, they wrote me this song. I'm crazy, crazy for feeling so lonely. I'm crazy, crazy for feeling so lonely. I knew you'd love me as long as you wanted, and someday you'd leave me for somebody. Sorry, why do I let myself worry? Wondering what in the world did I do? I'm crazy for thinking that my love could hold you. I'm crazy for crying, crazy for crying, crazy for loving me.
I'm crazy, crazy for feeling so lonely.
from personal experience what can happen when you let your child leave the room. We have a son, we adore him. And
Not so much back then.
Oh, so we appeared on the Wheeling Jamboree for years, and we'd take all kinds of people down with us, and put the kids in the bus with all the people who were traveling, and they were supposed to watch our kids while we were seeing it. So John was always a challenge. So I'm singing on stage, and I notice a little movement down along the seats on the side. I realize it's John, and he's leaving. I'm singing, thousands of people listening to me all over the East Coast, and I'm not supposed to let out. I want to yell, "Get back here!" He goes up and he stands at the back, which is okay, because I can see his head way back there with people back there. And then he's gone. And boy, I'll tell you, we had a talk. But my favorite of all the times we went to Wheeling with John, I'm singing on stage and I can hear, what the heck? And I go, and there he is. The thing he said was, you know, I learned so much in Wheeling. I said, I knew. I learned I wanted to kill you. And so he said what he learned, he later became quite a DJ, and he ran all kinds of equipment, lights, sound, all this stuff. He'd been up studying all those years. So there was a
So
good
he
thing.
said.
So my moral of the story is, when your kid leaves the room, you go with them.
You're done now. Okay.
I feel so much better, I got that out.
You got that off your chest, that's good. When I hear a song, if it has some really interesting lyrics, I guess that kind of catches my ear. This was written by Bill Anderson, and Porter Widener had this out back, I'm going to say probably early 60s. But I really sat down and listened to it later on. There's a great line in this one, I'll point it out when we get to it. I've enjoyed as much of this as I can stand. You look lovelier tonight than I remember. I'm so glad I got to see you once again. I've enjoyed just sitting down and reminiscing. I've enjoyed as much of this as I can stand. There's so much more between us than this table. All those years, all those dreams, and all those plans. Yes, you know, without me saying, I still love you. I've enjoyed as much of this as I can stand. So you say you're happy now, you found a new love. Tell him I said he's a lucky, lucky man. Here comes that line. No, I don't think I'll have time to see his picture. But I've enjoyed as much of this as I can stand. There's so much more between us than this table. All those years, all those dreams, and all those plans. Guess you know without me saying, I still love you. But I've enjoyed as much of this as I can stand. I've
lesson back there?
Trying, not to see.
Well, I have a few suggestions.
We try to have lots of meaningful, serious songs.
Oh, yes.
Here's another one. Ain't nothing in the world that I like better than bacon and lettuce and homegrown tomatoes. Up in the morning, out in the garden, get you a ripe one, don't get a hard one. Plant in the spring, eat in the summer, all weather without pecuniary bummer. I forget all about sweating and digging every time I go out. They made a big homegrown tomatoes, homegrown tomatoes. What'll I be without homegrown tomatoes? Only two things that money can't buy, and that's true love and homegrown tomatoes. Look at you. You can go out to eat, that's for sure, but it's nothing a homegrown tomato cure. Put them in a salad, put them in a stew. You can even make your own tomato juice. You can eat them with eggs, eat them with gravy, eat them with beans, pink or navy. Put them on the side, put them in the middle, put a homegrown tomato on a hot cake griddle. Homegrown tomatoes, homegrown tomatoes. What'll I be without homegrown tomatoes? Only two things that money can't buy, and that's true love and homegrown tomatoes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought we were done.
I need a Johnny tomato seed. It's a homegrown tomato in every yard you see. When I die, you bury me in a box in the cemetery. Out in the garden would be much better, and I could be pushing up homegrown tomatoes, homegrown tomatoes, homegrown tomatoes. What'll I be without homegrown tomatoes? Only two things that money can't buy, and that's true love and homegrown tomatoes. Homegrown tomatoes, homegrown tomatoes. What'll I be without homegrown tomatoes? Only two things that money can't buy, and that's true love and homegrown tomatoes.
Did you see how she ended correctly? How old is she?
She took one of May.
Anybody remember having children that age? Anybody remember the work involved?
I had a birthday in May.
Just one?
Just one.
So when you got to this point, it's enough. Oh no, did you see the rubber eye? Oh dear, that's a bad sign.
Yeah, she's running back.
We used to take our kids somewhere and run them until they drop, take them home, throw them in the bed, and then just collapse somewhere. Those were the good old days. We have 10 grandchildren. That's this, no, we didn't do anything. That's this many. And they're all perfect. Our daughter's coming home. Our daughter's coming home from Las Vegas for a visit, and she's bringing her two with her. And then our son John, he's in charge of 8, which makes total sense since he broke every rule in the book showing up. So when his kids have
This is
tried,
get even time.
yeah, when his kids try something, he'll say, "Don't even bother. I've already done it. I know how this ends." And I said, "It ends with Ray here." Okay, now this is going to get loud. So for those of you who aren't hard of hearing, drop yours. Wish that
Rocky Top, you'll always be home sweet home to me. Rocky Top, Tennessee. Rocky Top, Tennessee. Rocky Top, Tennessee.
It's a special treat tonight. I'm going to put her voice so she doesn't have to listen.
Okay, God created man. He looked him over carefully. God created woman.
I don't think I like the song.
My grandmother was so tough. What an old woman. She buried 3 husbands. 2 were only napping. So,
What?
do we dare ask them like a particular song that we might know? Because we are, what are we? We're retro? Okay, so I'm going to ask this and then I'm probably going to start. Is there a request?
I have a request.
Walk the line.
What?
In Medley, of apartment number 9, and there stands the words.
What have you got?
Walk the line.
What?
Trying to think.
That and STILLWATER.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's an old one.
Oh. Might have been one more.
Okay, I told you, I had to think about that. I might remember.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Favorite song we like to sing together? I or
Your favorite song?
I told you to ask that question.
We don't agree on that.
Okay, our favorite song together. Well, okay. So where are we? We've got Tom.
This can't be
we've got-
good.
Walk the line.
We're getting closer.
I keep a close watch on this heart of mine. I keep my eye wide open all the time. I keep the ends out for the time that binds. Because you're mine, I walk the line. I find it very, very easy to be true. I find myself alone each day soon. Yes, I'll admit that I am a fool for you. Because you're mine, I'll walk the line. As sure as night is dark and day is light, I keep you on my mind both day and night. And happiness I know proves that it's right. Because you're mine, I walk the line. You got a way you keep me on your side. You give me cause for love that I can't hide. For you I know I'd even try to turn the tide. Because you're mine, I walk the line. I keep a close watch on this heart of mine. Water.
you want before you go there? What'll it cost me?
We can edit that, can't we? Yeah, there it is. Let me see if I can remember this. This is a song that I wrote when Kathy was giving the old guys a hard time down on the train in Salem.
I was running the train, the back.
She thought she was running it, and the old guys didn't think she was, but they had a lot of arguments.
No, we didn't argue, I always won. Train didn't go anywhere until Kathy said, okay. You'd be surprised how an old creep could turn his mind around. I said to him, you're not getting on that train till I tell you. And he looked at me and the engineer said, she's right. Station manager. I was in charge. I was in the books for New York State.
And she thinks she's still that way.
Still pretty awesome.
What key did I do?
I thought it was something that.
I don't know if I can remember this now. Let's try it. When once somebody round us took the steam was still the king. The sky is still like glistens with yellow, orange, and green. Wrong key. Wrong tune. See, same station headed down that city line. It's the back Gill Rambler calling another time. She passes through the junction, that freshly covered bridge, and to the park and campgrounds, private workers' edge. Our John and Theodora once spent their summertime. That's the back Gill Rambler recalling another time. I don't remember.
That's it.
We haven't done that in probably 45 years.
Okay, so how about if we do one for him? And let's pretend that we like each other, and then we are going to sing something like that.
Oh, yeah.
This is a Vince Gill tune. You better be taping this, because you won't see
Good to
it.
see you.
Once we leave here and have our discussion.
Look at us. After all this time together, look at us. After all that we've been through, look at us. Still leaning on each other. When they want to see how true love should be, they'll just look at us. Look at you, still pretty as a picture. Look at me, still crazy over you. Look at us, still believing in forever. When they want to see how true love should be, they'll just look at us. In 100 years or so, I know without a doubt, they'll all look back and wonder how we made it all work out. Chances are we'll go down in history when they want to see how true love should be. They'll just look at us. When they want to see how true love should be, they'll just look at us.
He's told this story in recent years about the first night we saw each other.
Oh, this was an exciting time. Gary Blanche and I were working up at Hillbilly Heaven up in West Fort Ann, up on the dirt road. We backed up most of the single acts that came up out of Wheeling and Nashville. And many times we opened for the bigger bands. We had Hank Thompson was there a couple of times, Ray Price, William Nelson. Oh gosh, there's so many great groups up there. Anyway, this one night, it was an off night, so I had nothing to do but watch the people coming in, I guess. Anyway, Kathy walked in with her mother, and I looked at Gary and I said, I think that's the prettiest girl I've ever seen. He said, oh, that's nothing. We used to date. What I found out was they went on a hayride when they were 12, and they both fell off the wagon. I told Kathy about that. I told her, I thought you were the prettiest thing I'd ever seen.
Yeah, a couple of years ago.
Yeah, a couple of years ago. She looked at me and she told me, I looked up at the stage and I thought you were tall. That's all I got.
I have to tell you, Al was the original stalker.
Oh,
He used to drive by, I was out in Indiana, I was down in New Jersey working and all that. My mother would be on the phone, she'd say, Al Bain just drove by again. 3 years he drove by. He lived in West Hebron.
I was on my way to where I was going.
I was in Hudson Falls. So finally, I told everybody, well, finally one day I turned around and said, what do you want? And we got married. Boy, if we'd only known then what you know now.
When I was talking about my great hi-fi stereo system, I had another 78 record I used to play on there called it was Guy Lombardo and his Royal Canadians. This is one of my favorite tunes. Many, many years ago when I was 23, I was married to a widow who was pretty as could be. This widow had a grown-up daughter who had hair red. My father fell in love with her and soon they two were wed. This made my dad my son-in-law and changed my very life. My daughter was my mother cause she was my father's wife. To complicate the matter even though it brought me joy, I soon became the father of a bouncing baby boy. I'm my own grandpa. I'm my own grandpa. It sounds funny, I know, but it really is so. I'm my own grandpa. My little baby then became a brother-in-law to dad, and so became my uncle, though it made me very sad. Really was my uncle, and that also made him brother of the widow's grown-up daughter, who of course was my stepmother. My father's wife then had a son who kept him on the run, and so became my grandchild, cause he was my daughter's son. My wife is now my mother, and it makes me blue, because although she is my wife, she's my grandmother too. I'm my own grandpa. I'm my own grandpa. It sounds funny, I know, but it really is so. I'm my own grandpa. If my wife is my grandmother, then I'm her grandchild. Every time I think of it, it really drives me wild. Now I have become the sweetest case you ever saw. As husband of my grandmother, I am my own grandpa. I'm my own grandpa. I'm my own grandpa. It sounds funny, I know, but it really is so. I'm my own grandpa.
Say it again.
There stands, oh, right, okay, and apartment, Brenda.
My short-term memory is gone.
I'm Tammy Lynette.
I'll be dead.
They're both dead, but we'll just channel them.
Okay, we'll do this a couple more. We did this as a duet, kind of a medley thing, a long time ago. I'm surprised anybody is old enough to remember that. There stands the glass, fill it up to the brim. troubles grow dim. It's my first one today. There stands the glass that will ease all my pain, that will settle my brain. Brother, I'm on my way.
Just follow the stairway to this lovely
You'll find me waiting in apartment number 9.
not so very long ago. You walked away, and
After all the plans we made, you decided to be free.
loneliness surrounds me without your arms about me.
And the sun will never shine in apartment number 9.
I wonder where you are tonight.
Sorry, I didn't know the arrangement. You are tonight. I wonder if you think of me in my misery. There stands the glass, fill it up to the brim. Till my troubles grow dim. It's my first one today. I'm sorry, I should have known the arrangement on that.
You should have.
We are grateful that we're here tonight. We're grateful for all of you. I was telling them earlier, we've done shows for 2 people to 81,000. So anywhere in between there is an audience. So
What you said was, you're kind of mediocre. I think I'm gonna stop over and have some CBD after this.
You know how the ATM always says, would you like cash? I always say yes. Someone else's?
We're gonna wrap it up with this. I think you've sat long enough, and I've stood long enough.
And we're retro now. We are
So everybody has to know this one. So sing right along. The other night, dear, as I was sleeping, I think I held you in my arms. When I awoke, dear, I was mistaken, and I hung my head and I cried. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when the skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. You told me once, dear, you really love me, and nothing else could come between. But now you've left me and another. You have shattered all of my dreams. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when the skies are gray. You never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away.
thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for being here. We'll do this across the street.
Can anybody ask anybody?
And thanks for coming inside, so